Hi.
Ew. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday.
I see Kathy is here.
Hey, Kathy.
Oh.
We both have water.
It's a water night. Yes.
Yeah.
Mm.
What are you drinking, Kathy?
Anything good? Let us live vicariously through your beverage.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. It's just too hot to drink alcohol these days. Hey, Laura.
And Denise. Hi, Denise. Kool-Aid.
What flavor? What flavor of Kool-Aid? This is important.
I don't think I've ever had Kool-Aid.
Oh, man. Hey, Laura.
Hey, Laura.
We got two Lauras.
Mm-hmm.
No, growing up, we drank a lot of Kool-Aid.
Yeah, we had high C.
Black cherry is my favorite.
Oh, good. Yay. Laura got her package. Yay.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we only had high C, and it was in a can, and it was usually orange or green. That's all I remember is high C.
Yeah.
I wasn't allowed to have Kool-Aid in my house.
Probably too much sugar. Probably a good thing.
Yeah.
Hey, Karen.
Karen!
Did everyone have a good Monday? I was like, what day is it?
It's Monday. Because we're here together.
That was your weekend.
I've been really low energy. I, again, did not get as much done as I wanted. But I know it does. I know it happens, but Scott ordered me electrolytes online. So he says it's going to be here at the end of the week. So he thinks I need more electrolytes, like beyond Smart Water. So I said, well, Smart Water has electrolytes. He goes, no, I'm buying you, I guess, mega electrolytes. So we'll see. See if that helps.
Yeah, it's worth a shot. See if it works.
Yeah.
Yes. Are those Laura earrings?
No, these I found at a thrift store. Somebody hammered out some spoons, and they're pretty heavy. But I have very thick earlobes. I can pretty much almost wear anything. But these are like really fun hammered spoon earrings. And I found them at the thrift store a while back. But I do have my some Laura rings on. I love this one. And the daffodil, I have to say, there's something about the lines on the daffodil that I really like. It seems simple, simple, but like when you're looking at it on your hand, it really stands out. It's like thicker. I'm liking this daffodil.
Yeah, I love my ring from her. I just forget to wear it. Like I do most of the jewelry I own and or make. Sheila wants to know if it's Element. Is that what he's ordering?
I have no idea. Scott is really the physical sciences guru. He's been into it since college. I mean, we're talking. I watch.
Are you taking vitamin D?
Off and on. Like I rotate my vitamins because he's always buying me vitamins. He loves vitamins, and I can't handle a ton of vitamins. My body, I just pee it out. Like I feel like it's a waste of money. So I'm like, it's a waste of money. So I'm only going to take one vitamin a day. So I have to rotate between the multivitamin and the vitamin D. And then he has, some sort of brain concoction, like different ones to help me sleep. He's my nutritionist. So I can ask him, though. He's not here right now, Sheila, regarding the electrolyte provider, but I can find out for you.
It's working. My vent in my door is working. Like, it's been so hot here, but like, especially of an evening when like the house is like giving off all the heat that's absorbed all day, like the air actually moves. I haven't done the vent in the basement door yet because I have to do some Auntie Christy.
That's what I just saw her. I'm like, wow, hi.
Hi.
Hi. Good to have you
I haven't
here.
seen you in so long. But yes,
And I
yes,
didn't
Laura
say hi
does
to
need
Linda and
jewelry.
Tammy. Hi, Linda. Hi, Tammy. Love you, girls.
But I have a lot to cover, so we should jump.
Okay.
So
All right.
it went in a completely different direction than I was expecting this research to go. So there's just a lot. But we're gonna start with the Rustic Reborn. So this is someone who posted in a craft group I'm in on Facebook, and I was like, oh my gosh, can I share it? Because, you know, we all love our antique postcards and we wonder what to do with them. And she turns them into these lovely journals. She hand stitches them together, and that's her Etsy shop, The Golden Retweaver.
Oh, cute. So are these antique postcards that she put in the journal, or are they scans of them?
Nope, she's used the actual postcards to make the covers.
Oh.
So if you open it, you can see the writing if there was writing.
Oh.
Because I love postcards, but you can only collect so many. And this way, you know, it's living on. Like, maybe it's not one of the super collectible ones or what have you, but she got some really, really pretty ones. So
yeah, that one is beautiful.
check it out. Yeah, the lady. Yeah, she was sold already when I saw her.
Hey, Spirit.
I need her.
Okay. So I picked 2 inspiring interiors, and this has to be a country house in England. It just, between the stained glass and the ceilings, it just looks English to me. So of course, we love this. We all love this. I really loved the stone or marble arch with the plates on top.
It's like an old hearth, I think.
Oh, I thought that was a doorway.
No, that's definitely the hearth. You can see there is a stove in there. And that used to be an entire fireplace
Okay. Okay. For some reason in my head, the proportions were taller. So now that I know that's a hearth, I get it. So I saw this, and then I have this other picture that I want to share with you guys. It's like a similar inspiration. It's stained glass. It's definitely like English inspired with a twist of more fantasy, but it's not real. Look at
I know. I save so many AI pictures, and I'm like, I know this isn't real, but it's so pretty.
It's so pretty. I was like, oh my God. You know, I mean,
I really love that chair. That chair looks very comfortable.
All of it, just all of it. And it's just like, oh, I don't even know if that's even architecturally possible, but gosh, it's a pretty interior. Probably not.
Well, I mean, with steel, yes, possibly. But like the age they're trying to make it look, probably not.
Right.
Yeah. That's lovely. But you know, it can inspire you.
Right. It could inspire you to paint something similar on your wall, like as a mural, but
Or you could do that faux stained glass on your windows and make it look.
Mm-hmm.
It's nice.
The shadows. I agree. They're gorgeous on the floor.
Yeah. Well, my interior is an exterior. And it's from this lady I follow on Instagram called Excuse My Reading. She has, instead of her a she shed, she has a tiny little library outside. And it's just fun. Like, she always like makes a reel. She's carrying out her coffee and a different thing. And then she's using a pretty plate with a baked good.
Mm-hmm.
She's one of us.
That really is inspiring. Have a little book shed.
She's got, well, it's filled with books, of course, but then she's also got little vignettes of, things that inspire her. So, because she's writing a book on heartache. Oh. There is a cat door in the pink door. Look it.
Oh.
So,
cute.
If it's raining, you can go out there and her cat can follow. But yeah, super cute. Check her out. Excuse my reading. She also posts pictures of like lovely other like libraries, bookstores, etc. So if you love the look of books, it's worth a follow.
Yeah, I love that idea of just having a little, like a book shed, a little book retreat out of the house. That's very fun. So I picked antique apothecary jars with, I spelled original wrong. Oh. Can you tell I did this quickly? But just, and sometimes it's hard to tell because with all of the graphic designers out there, it is possible to, make a fake label that looks real. But I'm usually pretty good at being able to tell if it's an antique label or not. There's just something usually simpler about it. A lot of the newer ones, they try to get too fancy.
Oh yeah.
But I had never seen these ones with the gold labels on the left.
Yeah. Are they on a dark glass? The two in the
middle? I think there's ones on either side and these black. I don't know. It was very, I had to like zoom in as much as I could because it was a much further back picture. But I was trying to find more pictures of these really pretty ones like on the right that had the glass stoppers. But I couldn't find a good collection picture of antique ones, like the ones I was thinking in my head. So I just found that picture.
They are fun. I also like the milk glass ones.
Yeah.
They usually have painting on them too.
Yeah.
It's hard to find those with the writing intact though. So so I call these cake takers.
Yeah.
I don't know if they have a better name. Cake carriers, maybe? I don't know.
Maybe a cake keeper? I don't know.
But they were intended for you to transport your cake in.
Yeah, definitely. Right? Definitely.
And there's a whole variety. Obviously, that one at the bottom and the right is Tupperware, and the one in the middle is Tupperware. But I saw these images, and I was like, oh, they would just be so cute, adding height, color, graphic to any display. I've only ever run across a few, and usually they're like plastic, but I really love these painted metal ones.
I don't know if I've seen any ones quite like this. I've seen the aluminum ones that you had a sample of, and the Tupperware ones, but not ones like this, especially the pretty pink.
Well, I really like it because this one in the center here, the Tupperware one, I got a kids play Tupperware set for my birthday one year with the mini cake taker with the cake in it. They gave me a cake in the tiny
Oh,
cake
that's
taker.
cute.
It's like a memory. So that's why I
Oh.
call it a cake taker. But yeah, this blue one at the bottom with the pretty little knob is so sweet.
Mm-hmm. Yes, like that.
Oh,
So
I know whose those are.
yeah. So I decided to share Patrick Trusty Huckster Mercantile. He has a collection of figural glass flower frogs. And I got as close to his shelf as I could here on the right, but you can see he kind of alternates on the shelf between his porcelain collection. But you can see he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of these figural flower frogs with the wide console underneath it. And I think this is a beautiful collection. I mean, just the photo, the close-up photo here of the nude with the toll tray in the back. It's beautifully shot. I'm like, it makes me want one right now.
Yes. I do want
I want it.
ones.
I want her. I want that.
I want them too. We'll tell him, Karen.
Yeah, exactly, Karen. The one in the close-up, it's amazing. And you can tell it's probably it has pride of place. It's there on his top shelf.
Mm-hmm. He's got a lot of really cool ones, which if you go onto his channel, I think you can go back because he did an entire, I don't know if it was the duo dive or one of those, or the triptych, but he did it on the figural flower frogs. So it's worth a watch. Speaking of Media Must, so I had a friend send me this because it was tiny blue and white china.
It's adorable. The detail of the hand painting is amazing.
It's not painting. He makes the design out of clay. It's like polymer canes.
So
this is like his most popular video. I do believe he's Korean. And if you need something to put on, because there's just like music in the background and you're just watching his hands make things, it's absolutely perfect to like just say play all while you're doing laundry or whatever. And it's very soothing. But he shows you how he makes that cane. You can see it there on the left, the big white tube, and then how he slices it or makes it bigger or smaller to create those pieces.
And this is a YouTube?
Mm-hmm. Clay Zoo.
Clay Zoo.
Yeah. It's definitely fun. And I guess everybody knows I like blue and white china now. Because this is not somebody who follows me on YouTube. He was just like, you need to watch this. I was like, okay. It was very up my alley. Very up my alley. And now I want to watch all the other ones too, because it was just, one of those zone out kind of videos.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect for that.
This is just something I came across yesterday. It was an Instagram, and he had a reel of where his Instagram is called Practical Peculiarities. I don't even know his name. Don't know this gentleman's name. But he makes a lot of baked goods and treats with more of the Halloween scary style of creatures and inspiration.
It looks fun.
Yeah. I mean, the little goblet is like a layered mousse, and the green is actually cake crumbles. It was very cute enough where I'm like, I'll share
or fondant mushrooms.
Yeah. So some of his creations are a little much for me. I was like, oh, that's a little gory. But I really liked, he had a lot of really cute ones too. Like the little face, the pie faces I thought were adorable. The demon skull there's a reel just of him making that, and it's a brownie with there's ice cream in the middle of the skull. So like all this hot fudge goes over it and just like melts into this gooey amazingness. So
Christy says it reminds her of Christine McConnell.
Yeah.
It has a very similar vibe. Well, that's all for the starter portion. I'm hoping I can remember all the facts that I have.
Hey, Kathy's here.
So, cutlery, flatware. Where do we start? We start way back. So humans first so most people consider knives as the first type of cutlery. It's cutlery. But for purely food purposes, the spoon was the first thing made just for purveying something into your mouth. And most archaeological evidence shows that they would attach a shell to a stick, or horns and bones were hollowed out to make that spoon shape to feed largely children, because children couldn't, use their hands in the same way adults could. And there are tooth marks on like wooden spoons that show, like, because the kids were like, you teeth on it too. So that's so back Paleolithic era. We're talking Stone Age, which what did I think I mixed that up. But by Roman times, wealthy individuals were using spoons made of silver. These things here were found in Pompeii. And if you look at the bottom there's a little spoon with a very long handle, and then a wider spoon that like has little feet almost. And that's called a ligula. It was a pointed oval cup and a handle, usually had decorations at the tip. And that most resembles the spoon as we picture it today. And then the other kind, the cochleare, which, you can hear the cochlear. That shares a name. It has a small round cup and a pointed handle. They don't know exactly. The small rounded spoon was for liquids and soft things, and the larger, pointier one was for fish, etc., things like that. But then, as we know, blades have always been important. They used it to kill the food and slice the food and each other. That's what knives were for. And up through the Middle Ages, usually you sat down with your knife and spoon, which you had to bring with you if you were visiting somebody else. They did not supply knives and spoons for you. You carried that on your person. And if you're a woman, you weren't allowed to carry a knife, so you had to wait for somebody else to cut your meat for you. That's how it was. And at this point in time, we didn't even have plates. So if you've heard of a trencher.
No.
Trencher was a piece of bread that the meat was served on. And then like the bread also, and you use either your hands or pieces of the bread to convey the food to your mouth.
Hey, Kara.
So we're moving on. The fork only existed in large versions at this point in time. We're talking pitchforks, etc. And it wasn't until around 400 AD in the Middle East where a eating utensil fork started to appear. Supposedly, it's readily assumed that the fork made its way to Western Europe courtesy of its interaction with the Byzantine Empire. And one woman in particular, oh, I talk about that later, Kathy, hold on. Maria Argyropoulina, I think is how they said it. She was the Greek niece of a Byzantine Empire. She brought a case of golden forks, only 2 times at this point in time, to Venice for her wedding. And when she used them to get married to the son of the Doge, they were shocked. They were not happy to see this woman using a fork. Because one priest, I believe his name was Saint Peter Damian, I think. God in his wisdom has provided man with natural forks, his fingers. Therefore, it is an insult to him to substitute artificial metal forks for them when eating. And when she died of the plague 2 years later, they said it was because she ate with forks.
Oh. Dicks.
And so the fork was slowly filtering in to Western Europe. Another reason why clerical people hated them is they made a souquette fork, which was used for like really soupy fruits and stuff. And you could find them in a lot of brothels. So they were like, yeah, these loose women using their forks. I mean, we can't have it.
I didn't know forks had such a bad name at the beginning.
I didn't either. So, and then we have a lovely Catherine de Medici. So when she brought them from Italy when she married Henry II in 1533, they started being, of course, when something happens in a court, the popularity spreads. They still were not popular in the UK because, there's a really funny article about a guy who just was like making fun of them because the meat would fall. Because with the 2 tines, still not super helpful. But when they started curving the fork and adding tines, Germany was the ones that added a 4th tine around the 1700s. That's the shape we're most familiar with. But the fork didn't catch on until King Louis XIV.
Louis!
So there was a couple things that led to this happening in the French court. First of all, if all the men bring their sharp, pointy things to the table, bad things happen. Because not only, do they pick their teeth with it, which Cardinal Richelieu was disgusted. So he said that man in particular had his knife ground down. So that's how we get the dinner knife that is not pointy,
Mm-hmm.
And so everybody had to start using these blunted knives because Louis XIV didn't want, duels breaking out at dinner.
Mm-hmm.
It ruined the atmosphere. So, but up until that point, they were using the 2-knife method to eat their food without the fork. But a blunt knife does not help you pick up your food. So that 2nd knife got replaced by the fork, and there we have it. We also have it bringing in the way Americans eat because the blunt knife hopped on over to the colonies, and Americans didn't have forks at that point in time. So we used upside down spoons to steady our food for cutting. And then we would switch hands, which in Europe is a no-no. Like you keep your fork in your left hand, you cut with your right hand, and then, you eat. That's the European method. We put the knife down, we switch, and then we eat with our dominant hand. Emily Post called that the zigzag style. And while it's perfectly legit for us, if you're in a really fancy restaurant in Europe, don't do it. Don't do it. Anyway.
Man.
But, side note, I want to go back. So do you have a guess of where like dining etiquette got its start as far as like a kind of a ritualized dining situation?
I don't know.
Ancient Egypt. There's actually written etiquette from ancient Egypt on how
like rules and
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Which I did not. That was a fun fact that I picked up. But no, not the 50s. No. Way before the 50s. Auntie Christy. But I want to, so do you know what this style of service is called on this table here?
Oh, I think I've heard this before, but I don't remember.
Yeah. So this is serving a la Française. So this is when they would bring all the bits to the table and you would serve yourself. And that was the style of eating most popular from Middle Ages up until the late 1800s. Well, late 1700s. And then you get the influence of the Tsars. And what we use today for fancy eating is the service à la Russe, the Russian. So yes, so a buffet is a type of à la Française service. Of course, it's very different now than what it used to be. But around the 1800s, formal dining switched to service à la Russe when Russian ambassador Alexander Kurakin brought it to France in 1810, supposedly on the outskirts of Paris. It became popular, went on to England, became the norms by the 1870s, 1880s. And what it is you're sat at the table. None of the serving vessels are on the table. You are served by trained wait staff. And depending on whether you're in America or parts of Europe, the side they serve you on changes. But this is where we get so many cutlery pieces because you had to have a different fork or knife for each course. And then the wait staff had very particular serving utensils for each type of course. So the Victorian era is where silverware explodes from. See, Kathy, we're all connected by the forks.
May the forks be with us.
It's important to note, though, this service pictured here is the American style of setting a table because the Brits would never, ever put silverware above the plate. Okay? Just so you know. So, again, while it reduced the profusion of dishes and condiments at the table, it required a lot more people involved than service à la Française because, they would get the hot food, they would immediately dish it out to everybody at the table. And this also enabled everybody to eat everything because if you were at a large table that had stuff, like you could look at the menu and there's half of that you never got to try because you weren't near it. Whereas this, everybody was served every single course. And this is just lovely. So did you know that a full cutlery service is called a canteen?
I didn't.
I didn't either. Until they were like, oh, a Victorian canteen. And I was like, canteen. Which I wonder if that's where, like, when you say I'm going to the canteen for, like, military, if it evolved from this.
Must have.
Yeah. So this is a Florentine cutlery box from the early 19th century. So pretty. And you can see you've got a slotted serving spoon. Underneath the slotted serving spoon is a marrow spoon, which I'll talk about later. And then a mustard spoon is just below it, also sometimes called a salt spoon. Regular. Actually, that's probably a fruit spoon because it's pointier. And then up we've got regular serving spoon, a knife, and sugar tongs. That's what we're looking at there. And if you want this set, bargain price, $4,400.
Wow.
So, and one reference mentioned there was a complete set and they had over 150 different serving utensils. Wow. That meant that they could accommodate 150 different types of dishes at all,
Yeah. That's why they were polishing silver and doing dishes all day long.
All day long. Because for a meal like that, you would start cooking like a month before. And I'm not even like, because there were like certain kinds of cakes that you had to like feed.
Yeah.
For months ahead of time. So, yeah, I learned some fun new facts here. So, we're just going to go down. I found this. I think this is from King's Lane. They had it broken down. I was like, this is prettier than anything I can do. So we will enjoy their lovely efforts.
Ooh, I bet Laura is looking at that baked petite fork thinking that'd make a good spoon ring.
So from the left, that's a sardine server, which apparently I have a sardine server and I didn't realize it until I got this picture. And it was mainly used for literally sardines and other things that would flake. So you had a better grip on something that would fall apart. That was the thought behind the creation of that one. There's a couple serving forks. The one in the middle is a baked potato fork.
Oh, that says potato?
A baked potato fork.
I thought it said petite.
So, if it's hot, you just stab it in there. Then you've got a fork, a toast fork, and then the other one is another large serving fork, which I need some pretty serving forks, and I'm going to keep my eye out. The small serving forks, so we've got a butter pick, which is usually just 2 tines. The lemon fork usually always flares out like that. The pickle fork has like little nubbies, I think. So when you stab into the pickle, it's not going to fall back off when you pull it out of your pickle caster or things like that.
Have you ever seen a pickle fork in reality? I don't know if I've ever seen a real pickle fork.
I need one.
It's really cute.
My pickle caster came with little tongs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pastry fork will be a slightly smaller, more delicate than your dinner fork. So it's for airy desserts, so you don't tear the pastry all to pieces when you stab it. And, yeah. And then the one on the right is multi-purpose. You can see like the sardine one, it's wider and has more tines so that it can grasp those things that fall apart easier. And ladles, as we know, the toddy ladle, which I didn't realize it had a name like that. It was for hot toddies or punch. Gravy ladle, and then the sauce ladle is just like a larger rounded spoon. And I did not know if it's a sauce ladle, it will have a little hook so that when you put it down, it's not going to fall over.
Into
the
sauce.
Like foot. No, if you put it down on the table.
Oh.
And, yeah, it probably hooks on the bowl or whatever you're serving from, too. All right. Now, this is what sparked it all, because you shared that image of the sisters, and I was like, oh, those are so pretty. But the ones that are like flatter are tomato servers.
Okay.
Then there's the confection spoon, which is more of a bowl with piercings, and that's for Laura, confectioner sugar, to do over your fruit or your pancakes or what have you.
Oh, okay.
And then, of course, the one on the right is a tea strainer. And then the slotted serving spoon could be for any other kind of things that has juices that you do not want to come with the food onto your plate.
Mm-hmm.
So, they always stay up. Sporks. Did you know? First patent for a spork was granted to Samuel W. Francis in 1874.
Wow.
He was a doctor from Rhode Island who did a spoon-like scoop with tines and a knife edge, I think. I don't know what he was trying to eat with it, but I'm sure it was handy. And it is largely believed sporks were evolved to eat ice cream. So around the late 1800s is when ice cream became popular, and they kept it as cool as they could until it got to the table. So it was hard, but then it would start to soften. So they added a bowl to the tines. And these lovely ones pictured here are 1892 Tiffany and Company ice cream forks. They call them ice cream forks, but they're sporks for $370. I believe the actual something named spork was patented in 1908 with the name, but it existed before it was patented under that. Yeah. And then we're gonna look at some pretty ones. Speaking of ice cream, if you find a knife like this and you're like, what would that cut? It might have been an ice cream knife. Because before ice cream was scooped, it was cut and placed on a plate. Hence the need for the ice cream sporks.
Wow, look at that design, Laura.
They were also making ice cream desserts at the time, which also would need to be cut with, so like talking like a bomb or something like that. That wasn't just ice cream. But if you want to go down a rabbit hole of very pretty things, just put ice cream knife, Victorian ice cream knife, or Edwardian ice cream knife. You're gonna see some pretty things.
These are gorgeous. We all love these. And hi, Kim. Hi, Kim.
Hey, hi. And so the things I'm going to show you are very out of the ordinary things that I was just baffled by, and it's part of the rabbit hole experience. So speaking of the marrow spoon, so I did not know this was a thing, because eating bone marrow, I mean, it's very good for you, but it was a regular part of a dinner service from the 1600s to the 1800s. And it will be a long thing that will have like a tiny little spoon on one end, or it will also have a larger spoon on the other end. And then there's also ones that kind of look like paddles, but they call those, some people call them cheese scoops, as well as marrow scoops. They're like a little spade almost is what they look like. But this would be on your place setting for if you were having a large bone so that you could scoop the marrow. So if you see a weird thing, they're all very pricey. And they're almost all have hallmarks. They're almost all sterling because of the time frame that they were made. And this is a good time to pause. You don't have to eat it, Denise.
I don't like bone broth. Yeah. I've never tried bone marrow, but I've tried bone broth and I do not like it.
Yeah. I think I've had it before. It wasn't anything special, but so obviously sterling was the first silver, and then there was silver plate, which meant more people could have more things. And then there was hotel silver, which is a thicker plated things that were used for hotels, etc., that were meant to be bashed about and live a little bit longer. And then in 1913 is when we get stainless steel. That's when it was first created. So if you see a stainless steel, it's probably not going to be from before 1920s. And a lot after the 20s and on, you'll see more and more mixing. So for serving pieces, what touches the food will be stainless steel, and the handles will be sterling, because that just lengthened the life of the piece. Mm-hmm. But side note on silver. I just love this, and I wanted to share it because it's just so cute. But I love the tiny little, which I actually have a condiment set, and I didn't realize why it was the way it was. So one was like, one's for mustard, one's for salt, one's for pepper. And do you know why mustard was such a big thing in the late 1800s?
Because it tastes great.
No. Two gentlemen by the name of Gray and Poupon developed Dijon mustard in 1850. And everybody was obsessed.
Because it tastes so good.
Individual mustard pot with their tiny little mustard spoon on their place setting.
I love mustard.
It's delicious.
Mm-hmm.
And now I know I have a little tiny mustard thing. So cute.
Ooh, yes.
These are grape shears. Because grapes would be served on the vine, and you couldn't just pick it off. You had to have your fancy grape shears to cut that and then put it on your plate and then eat it that way.
So everyone had their own shears at their plate?
Uh-huh. If they were eating grapes, they had grape shears. Well, if they were fancy enough. But they're all, most often, they are decorated with grapes. Like, I found a pair of Regency ones that were like, the handles looked like baskets with grapes flowing out of them. Oh, wow. So, yeah, we're talking. And so, I mean, if you want to be real fancy, you need grape shears. So.
Ooh, LaDonna. She's got 12 different mustard flavors in her fridge. Yeah, girl.
You don't need 12 different mustard pots. I love the tiny, like, again, if you pick any category of this and you just want to go down, like, looking at fun, pretty things, just put, like, Victorian mustard spoons, and then you'll just get a whole, and it runs the gamut. So, like, if you want to collect tiny little spoons, you can enter that market pretty easily.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's also the version of that. So I think, I don't know if this is my last. Oh, no. Okay. So I wanted to find a pretty sugar sifter, and they also, price will vary widely. This is a sugar sifter from 1884. So, and I want to say, like, because it looks like it's got, like, different cultures represented, and I wonder if it's from a specific thing that happened in 1884, like if it was commemorating something. But the listing didn't have that information, so I was just making it up. But that is my guess. But as you see, it's a sugar sifter because it's more of a bowl, whereas the tomato servers are flatter.
Mm-hmm.
And this one is pure American, okay? So we created potato chips, and they were known as Saratoga chips when they were first brought to the masses in Saratoga Springs, New York in the 1850s. And I mean, this is the time of the fancy table. So Tiffany and Company is the one that made the most variety of them, but this is a Saratoga chip server.
Wow.
You know, now we just dig our hands into a bag but I want a chip server now.
It's amazing. So the chip server was in the bowl? I mean, or did that's how they ate their chips.
Freshly fried chips and serve them with a server. You weren't serving yourself. You were being served.
How did they eat the potato chips? Would they use a spoon or a fork?
That I don't know. I don't know how they were eaten. I mean, we obviously eat it with our hands. And a caveat, this is largely focusing on, like, Western civilization. Like, there's a whole amazing history of chopsticks, etc., for the eastern part of the world that I did not dig into because I only have 30 minutes.
Time. No time.
But if you look up like, for a single piece, they were so expensive. I didn't see any for less than a few $100s. So familiarize yourself with the Saratoga chip server. And if you are digging through random bits of silver, chips like potato chips, Christy. So this was after, pommes frites. This was purely American potato chip invention that happened in the 1850s. So it's not next week. It might happen eventually, and I had to stop there because there was so much I wanted to show and talk about, and I was like, okay, we're going overboard here. But that's what happens when I start research like this. I was just expecting to show you the different kinds, and there is so many. Like, there's I wanted to find, like, the escargot spoon, but there was just too much. Like, and then I found the things I'd never heard of, so I was like, okay, I'll share those too, because I did not know grape shears were a thing. Bone marrows, scoops.
Yeah.
I definitely had no idea that there was a very specialized server for potato chips.
Yeah. That's so fascinating.
Now I need them. I need them all.
Now I know what a pickle fork even looks like. It's got
I
bumps.
know that. I mean, it's what makes me think of a Trident because it's got those.
Yeah.
Like I was like,
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna actually hold on. Did you bring a favorite thing?
I didn't.
I will go grab 2 of my newest favorite serving pieces.
Okay. I don't have a favorite thing. Well, I do have some things that I need to share, but I'm saving that for a video. Need to do a video where I'm going to share some goodies. Good stuff.
Because I've been needing larger tongs for the serving of things at tea parties. And I found these. These are lovely. I do believe these are stainless. They don't have any kind of markings whatsoever. Mm-hmm. But then I was like, oh, what if I'm going to serve cake? And then I found this. And we know that this is post 1920s because this part is stainless steel. But this part is sterling. I love that. I love it. The person I bought it from just called it stainless steel. They did not know that this was all sterling right here. Because I spent a good 20, 30 minutes cleaning up the handles. Mm-hmm. No longer smells real bad like it did before, but these are my. I love it. I love the design on them. And they basically match, even though they do. Yes. They look great together. There is that. And real quick. Okay. I have to share my favorite quote about a spoon. You ready? Okay, I'm ready. I'm going to cut your heart out with that spoon. Sorry. There is an asparagus server. I was trying to find a good one, but I couldn't find. I couldn't find an asparagus server I wanted. I ran out of time, really, because I wanted to show so many pictures when there's only so much time. Yeah. But why a spoon, cousin? Because it's still your twit. It'll hurt more. Anyway. Oh, Susan's here too. Hey, Susan popped in. But with that, we're almost at 8:00. Yeah. I wanted to tell you, Thursday, I have a sale with Beth, Carolina Sweet Treats and Pretties on her channel at 6 Eastern. You're so lucky. It's gonna be very fun. See, the clock is almost on time. That means it's gonna die soon. Yeah. But and you'll have your sale on Sunday. You're still already. That's the plan. I haven't organized it, so if I can't organize something, I will put it in my community tab. But I'm gonna give it my best effort. Yeah. So, and Jason, Mother Tucker's tonight, and Bill, they're gonna have the birds. They're gonna have Fat Birds Times on tonight. Right now, like in a minute, they're going to start their sale. Well, thanks so much to everybody. If you have a favorite random bit of cutlery, please let me see it because I like the random bits, and I just want to keep learning about odd serving pieces because that's fun. It is fun. All right. Have a great week, everybody. We'll see you next week on Heather Elizabeth's channel. Yeah. All right, guys. Bye. Love you. Bye.